Hello everyone, we're back again with another soup recipe that I've got just completed cooking. It has been cooling and now I'm getting ready to transfer it to the bag to store it for the freezer. And there's just a few recipe notes for the tomato basil soup. First of all, guys, this is a clean recipe. It is fresh produce. There's nothing in here that is not clean eating approved. Everything is super healthy. And one of the things that the recipe calls for is 12 cups of chopped tomatoes. That's a lot of tomatoes, y'all. So I always do a mixture of tomatoes, and I'll explain that by saying I go to Costco and I buy my produce in bulk. And one of the produce items I purchase are these organic tomatoes on the vine. Well, I buy in bulk for my tomatoes and I go through a method of freezing them for them to last in the freezer for a year. And 12 cups of tomatoes would deplete the majority of what I have left in my freezer. So I did not want to do that. I still had some fresh tomatoes from Costco. I had not frozen yet. So I used half of the 12 cups of the recipe calls for. Half of them were tomatoes just like these off the vine. And then, so I just chopped these up, no big deal. And then I want to show you another product that I love that I use for the other half of those 12 cups of tomatoes is this pommy, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, finely chopped tomatoes. There's no salt added. Everything is, it's in a cardboard box. Everything's all natural. And the only ingredient right there on top is tomatoes. You can't beat something this simple. It's 5 milligrams of sodium. It's 100% tomatoes that have just been finely chopped. So I just wanted to share as you're, cooking down your tomatoes, if you want to purchase, chopped tomatoes from a box or a can, and so long as the only ingredient is tomatoes and they have not added salt, then go for it. Otherwise, feel free to use 12 cups of fresh chopped tomatoes. That's a lot of tomatoes, but you can do that too. So I did 6 cups of fresh tomatoes and I did 6, and then this was 6 cups of the boxed tomatoes. This one's weird, right? Boxed. So I just wanted to share with you that you can do that tip. Other than that, the recipe is extremely straightforward. Once again, this recipe is calling for an immersion blender. You can always blend it in the blender. There are some notes if you do that. Otherwise, an investment in an immersion blender is in my opinion, worth it. They're not expensive, and if you're following a paleo or a Whole30 or just really trying to clean up your nutrition, you can make paleo mayonnaise that requires an immersion blender. Bulletproof coffee requires an immersion blender. So you just have, well, at least the one I do does. I'm sure there's other ones, but there's just so many options that you would use it. So anyways, I use the immersion blender. Did not take me that long at all. And now I'm just gonna ladle this big old pot of tomato basil soup into this bag to get it ready for the freezer. And I have misplaced my ladle, so let me grab another one. Hang on. I've made so many of these soups tonight that I'm running out of ladles. So I am going to make 2 dinners and several lunches out of this one recipe. So the recipe says that it makes 4.5 quarts, and that's probably accurate. I'm not very good with like units and measurement for quarts and stuff, but it's a lot, I'll tell you that. Way more than my family will eat in a meal. So I will make multiple dinners out of this. So when I shared with you guys when I was talking about putting this workshop together, is that although you might only have 5 or 6 recipes, out of those 5 or 6 recipes, it's not far-fetched to believe that you're going to get 8 to 15 meals out of it. So it's super important to remember that this one recipe doesn't just make one meal for your family. This recipe makes multiple meals for your family. And that is why I love freezer cooking, because you can make it at one time, have multiple meals frozen, and you can eat it maybe once a month over 3 months, and your family doesn't get tired of it. And you don't have any waste. So this is actually as much tomato basil soup as my family will eat in one meal. So I'm getting the air out now. I zip it almost till it's closed, squeeze it out. Then I lay it flat. And I don't have as much soup of this flavor as other ones because I have a daughter that will not eat anything tomato based in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So I always, always, always serve this tomato basil soup with a small Caesar salad and a grilled cheese sandwich. I buy the Omega bread, the real nutty bread out of Costco. I use the Tillamook cheese, and I grill it on my griddle. And you want to talk about comfort food, because this is it. But this tomato basil soup is super delicious, super healthy, very comfort. I'm telling you guys, these foods do not taste like your traditional stuff coming out of the freezer. You've got some serious flavor from natural, real food sources. What I did is while it was laying flat and I was chit-chatting, I opened up the bag a little, squeezed the rest of the air out, and then I reclosed it. I will leave it flat because that's how I'll store it. Also, don't forget to write on the bag the name of the recipe and the date so that you know that you need to eat this within 3 months. So this is going to make multiple meals for me. I'm going to continue to ladle them up. I will also definitely make 2 or 3 sandwich-sized bags of this for single portions, because this is the perfect soup to thaw out, heat up, and add to a thermos on a busy day in the fall or in the winter. So I hope you guys have enjoyed learning more about how to freeze soups, and the ones that I've shared are definitely family favorites. This is the last soup in this for this workshop. I'm not sure what order you guys watch them in, but this is the last one I've made. It's pretty late here at night. I'm wrapping this up, and I'm just so excited, and my family's super excited because my freezer is about to be totally stocked again. So one more time, zip it up. Start, portion out what your family needs. Zip up almost to the end. Squeeze out the air. Lay it flat. Open up the middle. Squeeze the rest. Just tap it gently so that all of the air is out. And then close it up for good. And then this is still a little warm. It's been cooling, but it's still warm to the touch, so I'm going to lay it on the other side of my island, let it come to room temperature, and then I will add it to my freezer, stacked on top of the other soups and meals that I've made, so that I can just grab and go, thaw it in the refrigerator the night before I plan to eat it, reheat it on the stove, reheat it in the microwave, whatever your schedule allows, and you have a very wholesome, healthy, all-natural dinner that your family will thank you for. Okay, guys, I will be back soon with another video. Have a good night. Bye.